Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So these are the tools I'll be needing for this corset pattern. So first of all, I've went ahead and drawn my shoulder line, my armhole line, my bust point line, my under bust, my waist, and then the corset length, which is 20 inches. And I also went ahead and do 1 inch allowance for the zipper allowance. And after I'm done, I'm just going to take that side as my back. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is to take my nipple to nipple measurements because I want to be bringing out my that. So the first thing I did after that was divide it to by 2, right? So that is 3.5 inches. So I'm just going to bring out a straight line on that 3.5 inches. So on my bust point line, I'm going to be drawing a slant line towards my waistline using 0.5 inches. So I'm just going to be going about it like that. So when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead to my corset length and then do the same thing. So the next thing is pretty simple. If you've actually watched my body's pattern, you see that the next thing is just to put my measurements divided by 4. At this point, you might decide to add your sewing allowance or not. So I just go ahead and use my curved ruler to bring out my shape. So after I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead to the front side of the pattern. So at the front side of the pattern, I'm just going to go ahead and do the same thing I did at the front, at the back to the front as well, sorry. So here I'm just going to bring out a little bit of curved shapes there. I'll use 1 inches. So I went tight to my front, and the first thing I did is that nipple to nipple, which is constant in everybody's pattern. So when I'm done doing that, I'll go ahead and roll it straight like that. When I'm done, I'll go ahead and also make sure that the line go up straight because I'm going to be using it for something else later. So when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead to that my waist point to take my 0.5 inches, but at this side I'm going to be taking 1 inch. So I also take 1 inch on my under bust line, and I'm going to be slanting it like that. If you watch it, you just get it. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is take 0.5 from my center front, and I'm going to be ruling it straight. Remember, I used 3.5 inches to bring out my dart line. So me taking 0.5 out like that means that it is remaining 3 inches. So I'm going to take my neckline at 7.5 inches, and when I'm done, I'm just going to be using that 3 inches that is remaining to bring out my circle. So since I've taken out 0.5 inches, I'm just going to use that 3 inches that is remaining to bring out that circle there. So when I'm done, I'm just going to do that straight all the way to my under bust. Notice I'm taking this from my bust point. So when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and use my pen to like make that sort of circle. So at the end, it's just going to be like a round burst circle there. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is, of course, my bust is not straight, so I sort of want to bring out the shape of my bust, and I'm using that circle as an indication line. And the next thing I'm going to be doing is I will take my round measurement divided by 4 as usual. So that's what I'm just going to do there. So when I'm done doing that, I am going to like go ahead and use my curved ruler to just bring it out. Okay, So that is basically what I'm doing there. So I'm just going to use my ruler to bring out my shape there. So when I'm done, the next thing I'm going to be doing is going over to my cup to actually make sure that everything is nice and is not that curved. So you see, at that point, I'm just going to come out by 0.5 inches depending on the fullness of your bust. You might actually come out by like 1 inches and 1 inch, sorry, and then just go ahead with your curved ruler and use it to smoothen every part out and make sure that you go ahead and still come back to that your under bust line. So on this upper part, I'm just going to like make sure that the line matches up with my that line that I drew up the other time. And at this curved part too, I'll make sure I do the same thing there. So the next thing I'm going to be doing is that I'm just going to write my center front on my cup, and then I'm going to go ahead at this point and then bring in 0.5 inches in to make sure that I have a nice and fitting cup. So what we'll do next is go right ahead, add my sewing allowance, and then cut it out. So when I'm done cutting it out, I still want to make sure that my cup is perfect. So what I'm going to do there now is to show you what I actually do, a little bit of manipulation there. Actually, some might be doing this after they've cut out the cup, but I just want to make sure that I'm not wasting any pattern paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that same curved I did at the back side here using 1 inch. So when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and like cut this pattern out. So let's cut it out. So at my zip allowance or zipper allowance at the back, I'm just going to go in by 3/4 of an inch to do that zip snatch, waist snatch, whatever it is. It's just to bring out that place to like make it firm. So what I'm going to be doing is numbering my pattern and then go ahead and add my sewing allowance or seam allowance. So when I'm done, I'm just going to go ahead and cut this pattern out. That means my back is actually done. So I'm just going to still go ahead to tack my same front pattern and do a little bit of manipulation there. So let's go. So when I'm done cutting, I'm just going to treat myself to a notch at the waist and then write D, which means down, so that I'll be able to get where my pattern should be facing. So I'm also going to go ahead and number this part. So I'm going to cut it out, but when I get to that under bust side, I'm just going to stop. What I'm going to do there is that curved, I want it to be at this side too. So I'm just going to take my curved ruler and bring it out. A little bit of curved there so that my bust could be, my cup, could be fitting nicely and then it will be full. Yeah, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut it out like that, and boom, my pattern is done at this time. So please, at this point, please subscribe, like, share, and and then give a nice comment. Thank you for watching. So I'm going to see you when I sew this.